You are listening to the Fitz and Healthy podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauren Fitzgerald, also known as Lauren Fitz. I'm a medical doctor, a fitness instructor, an entrepreneur, a health and fitness coach, but most importantly, I am a lover of life. And here on the Fitz and Healthy podcast, I intend to give you a ton of great information and knowledge that will serve as potential power so that you can live a life by design and make it more fits and healthy. And don't forget to listen to the disclaimer at the end. I'm not your doctor, yo. All right, enjoy the episode. Much love. Ciao. Hi guys, I'm Lauren Fitz, the host, and I'm accompanied by my beautiful co-host who is a female, Cinthanie from Cinthanie.com. So we're joking because so any of you females out there who do any kind of live video, or not even live video, if you take pictures, if you wear your hair in a ponytail right here, when you look at your pictures or by live video, you're like, oh, I look like a dude, right? So hence the reason why I've got a side ponytail. And so Cinthanie is about to go to a college graduation. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she gets on live on this call and she's like, oh God, I look like a dude with lipstick.
In person, the power ponytail works.
The
live video,
the power ponytail is
not
everything, but on video, you have to do the side. Like, I really do have hair.
So
look,
I'm gonna be
look,
like
I have
this.
hair.
Like this, so you can tell that I have hair.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us. This is our third total FITz Friday Q&A, but our second one since we launched 12 days ago. Okay, so we launched May 1st. I don't even know the numbers. Robert, what are the numbers? Like, as of yesterday, we were over 20,000 downloads and we had 117 reviews.
Oh my gosh.
We're 21,400. That's what he said in my ear. Holy bananas, you guys. Freaking amazing. I still can't believe it. Big things are happening. And we're hearing from so many people about how already the first 11 episodes have touched people's lives in ways that we couldn't even imagine. So we are super grateful, and we want you guys to get accustomed to this FITz Friday Q&A. We will be here every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless there is something major that's going on. But for instance, we will be in New Orleans. July? What's the date?
13th, 14th.
Okay.
I think it's Saturday or Friday the 14th, I want to say.
Okay. So we'll be there in New Orleans, and we have totally planned. We're going to do a live FITz Friday Q&A in New Orleans. And go. Yep.
We usually don't do this. We usually don't do this together. So it's going to be really cool. Like Lauren right now is in California, and she is in Newport, and I'm in Dallas. So y'all, we are going to be together.
Oh, it's going to be trouble.
It's going to be fun.
Trouble. So
Fitz and Healthy is about to take over New Orleans.
Lord have mercy.
Everybody says I don't look like a guy. You guys are so nice.
We have such nice fans. Okay, so
y'all are liars.
Whatever. No, you look beautiful. I really think that, like, you could try to look ugly and you couldn't accomplish it.
So sweet.
But I know the struggle, the behind the ponytail. It's like, oh, okay, all right, I got to show some hair, right? So I just want to give the people that are watching live right now just a heads up. For our upcoming people that are going to be on. The first person that everyone needs to be watching out for is this man named Chris Downing. And if you follow me on social media, you know who Chris Downing is. He is he was discovered because he's got a YouTube channel, and I can't believe right now his YouTube channel only has like 22,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me because there's so much great content on there. But this guy has been training professional athletes for I don't know how many years, and his message is very similar to our message. I mean, he is it's so motivational, so inspirational. And he was discovered by the CEO of, I don't even know if you know this story, Cinthanie, but he was discovered by the CEO of Beachbody because of one of his YouTube videos. And he's got a son. I think his son is now 2 or 3, no, 3 maybe. But he was showing, like, he's got a lot of videos with him showing, him and his son on his YouTube channel doing like little agility stuff, and him training his son already. And it's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. If you aren't a fan of Chris Downing, you will be a fan after watching him with his son. Oh my gosh. But it was a video with him and his son when his son was like 1 or 2, and his son is still pretty young, but this is how Carl Deichler found him. And he was like, this guy. And so he started watching from the sidelines. Chris Downing had no clue. And this was how he was discovered. And he is the next super trainer in Beachbody. And I mean, he's been training NFL athletes and NBA stars and whatnot for a long time. But his Shift Shop is coming out this summer. I'm on day 5 of it. And anyone that follows me on Snapchat knows, like, I snapped today. I'm like, it's not getting any easier. I'm dying. Amount of time that I've talked to him already, this man will motivate you and inspire you in a way that you have no idea.
Yeah.
So that is a Q&A. It's either going to be next Friday or the Friday following. We got to figure out. He's available for both, but depending on my schedule, we got to figure out. So let's get to the point of Q&As. So we already have some questions, right? And this is when we give people that are live a chance to ask us any question. And I will always, and I'll say this every freaking Friday, but I am a medical doctor and I do know a lot, but there's a lot that I don't know. And so if I don't know the answer to your question, I will find it out and get back to you. So you're allowed to ask me almost anything. And I say almost anything for a reason, but go ahead. So do we have any live questions right now?
I don't have any live questions yet, but I do have a question from Snapchat that I got this morning.
Okay.
This is from Lise559.
Okay.
She said, "Hey girl, just listened to the podcast interview with Melissa McAllister and loved it. However, she mentioned something about hormones in the morning when you wake up. Should I not drink my pre-workout when I wake up? I don't want to ruin my hormones in action. Is it okay or not?"
Okay, that's a great question. So first things first is I would figure out what was in the pre-workout, because not all pre-workouts are created equal.
Amen.
And if there is anything that people learn from watching us or listening to us, is start reading your ingredients, people. Don't assume that because you're buying it from a health food store, or, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know if I can get in trouble for it, but GNC is where so many people go, and they just assume that, I bought it at GNC, it's good for you, right? No. In fact, if you look at the ingredients on most of the products, they're just terrible. I'll let you know, when I practice medicine, in Japan, it was so jacked up. In Japan, I would be on call, even though I'm not an ER physician, I would be on call for what we call code blues. And code blue is when a patient is actively trying to die. And so, when I was holding the pager, I would be responsible for being the doctor that would respond to code blues. And I responded to more than code blues of young active duty people who had taken supplements they had bought from said, not necessarily, I mean, there is a GNC on, but whether it's the pre-workout or whatever, and it's stuff that put their heart into a rhythm that was not sustainable for life, and they needed to be shocked. And there was some huge damage done from stuff that they thought was, this is just a pre-workout. So that's my first question. 2, once you know that you are taking a pre-workout that has good ingredients that are safe for you, it's all about timing. So honestly, if most pre-workouts have caffeine in it, and the best time to drink caffeine is actually not when you wake up, because your body's natural cortisol, that's what wakes you up initially. And so your body's hormones actually create energy on its own. So if you're just going by time of day and your circadian rhythms and your hormonal roller coaster rides of if your hormones are acting the way they're supposed to, the mid-morning is actually the first dip in cortisol. So if you're really wanting a pre-workout that has caffeine in it that gets you going, that is ideally. But the reality is a majority of people, they only have a certain amount of time to work out. They can only work out at 5 a.m. And so assuming that, the person that goes to 9-to-5 job and needs to get their workout in first thing in the morning, is it best to not drink it at all? Or assuming that it's safe ingredients, it's not going to jack with your cortisol that much. There are other ways to jack with your cortisol, and we'll actually do a whole podcast just on cortisol.
Okay. So Amanda Heffington wants to know thoughts on HBOT.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Oh, there we go. Someone has been watching Chalene Johnson snaps.
I was just going to say that.
So a hyperbaric oxygen, and Julie Dawson, I will get to your question next. I see it right here. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So this is something that we've been practicing in medicine for a long time. In fact, we know of all of the great benefits it does for the body and for rejuvenative recovery in the body. The reality is that unless you are uber wealthy, it's not going to be a therapy that you're going to be able to have access to. So let's say that you work at a university where they're actively doing research trials all the time on, let's say, athletes, and they're looking at exercise physiology and whatnot. And if you have access to that, awesome. But I'm talking to the 99.9% of the rest of the population that doesn't have thousands and thousands of dollars just sitting in their bank account that they can just spend with whatever. It's not a realistic therapy. So we know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy is awesome. It's the bomb. But the reality is, that's as of 2017. Things might change. It might become more readily available, but someone like Chalene Johnson, who has been snapping about it this week, the woman's a multimillionaire. She's
a luxury.
It is.
Right now.
And the reality is she probably gets a lot of that kind of stuff for free because she does have such a huge social media following. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've definitely partaken in a lot of things for free because I've got a social media following. I'm nowhere near the level of Chalene Johnson by any means, but the fact is hyperbaric oxygen therapy, we know, in fact, I'm going to tell a sad story. The last time I used it, we were taking care of a kid who was a drowning patient and was pretty much, the parents were waiting to withdraw care, but they were doing everything possible, every last measurement, because she was found down in her pool. And hyperbaric oxygen therapy was one of the last ditch efforts because we know that there's so many benefits to it. But unless you're, at a big medical facility or uber wealthy, you're not going to have access to that. So, I'm all about giving people power to do stuff that they really realistically can change their life. So
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to read Julie Dawson's.
Go for it.
Okay, so she said, Lauren Fitzgerald, do you exclusively do an at-home workout or still work out with weights at a gym? I had a baby 7 weeks ago, and thanks to good choices to diet during pregnancy and breastfeeding, I'm officially 30 pounds lighter. What?
Go you, girl.
No. But 30 pounds lighter than she was pre-pregnancy.
Wow.
Girlfriend.
Girl.
You go, girl. But she said she has a lot more to go. Okay.
Sure.
I need to keep up the momentum once I go back to work and balance 2 little boys with teaching, debating signing up for a gym membership or starting a program at home. Just wondering if you were doing both. Okay. That's a great question. So
yeah, that's a really good question.
So there are different types of people. For me, I love variety and change. And so I always, like right now, I'm on day 5 of doing the test group for Shift Shop. So that's a new program, hasn't come out for Beachbody yet. There are so many different programs from Beachbody that I'm always doing a different program.
Yeah.
So a lot of days it means that I work out at home, but there are some days that I just want to be at a gym and get my workout in and be surrounded by other people that are doing it, that are pushing me. And so some days I'll put my Beats headphones in and I'll use the Wi-Fi, so I don't use my data, put on Beachbody On Demand, and I'll have like Body Beast going on in my pocket. I can hear what Sagi is telling me to do. And so essentially it's like I have a trainer for free.
Yeah.
But it's in my pocket. It's using, I'm using my cell phone, and there are days that I do my own workouts, but it's just nice. Like I've always been a gym rat, and I never thought that there would be a day that I would prefer at home workouts. And it has been such a blessing for more things than not. But I will tell you this, and I just talked about this in my group this morning, Julie, the benefit of having an accountability group like we provide in the challenge groups is huge, because so most of you guys don't know, but my mom has not been on Facebook up until February 1st of this year. And I finally talked to her and I'm like, look, Mom, we'll just create your profile, keep it private so that you can just be in my challenge group. Right.
Yeah.
And the February was the month that the theme for my challenge group was hormone reset. And so I haven't seen my mom since December. I mean, I see her and I FaceTime my parents every week, but I haven't seen her in person since they helped me move out here to California in December. So that, 5-6 months ago. Right. And my mom looks amazing. Just shout out to Mom.
Mama Fitz.
Yeah, Mama Fitz is looking good. But
awesome.
But the benefit, like it's cool because she now gets to see what I do as far as coaching goes, but she also got to have the benefit of this support group. And I will tell you this, the roles reversed last night, because we went to this restaurant that I'd never been to, and it's known for their s'mores dessert, right? I'm human, just like every single person in my group is human. And we all are guilty of making excuses of, oh, it's Mother's Day, or, oh, it's vacation, or, oh, it's a restaurant I've never been to and it's known for s'mores, right?
Yeah.
But the group mentality has helped so many people make the right decision. And so I've always been the voice of, not reason, but the voice of encouragement and coaching my mom. And last night it was the opposite. My mom was the one that was like, we don't need that. And I'm like, you're right, we don't. And that's the beauty of the challenge group, is that getting on the health and fitness journey is difficult. Staying on it is even more difficult, but when you're surrounded by like-minded people, that's the best.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So do you have anything that you want to add to that, Cinthanie? Because
I used to be like you. I used to be a gym rat, but I didn't have structure at the gym. I just went there because that's what I thought I was supposed to do to get fit.
Oh yeah.
So
you're speaking to a lot of people right now.
Yeah. For me, working out at home with structured workouts at home is like, it's been my jam. Like I've gotten better results at home than I ever did at the gym. I still go to classes 2 times a week because I have a lot of friends that teach, and I love to go and, like Lauren said, do a live workout with them and do. So I kind of do that more as like my social hour. That's my kind of happy hour.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that hour at the gym instead of an hour with cocktails. So that's my happy hour twice a week. But I prefer working out from home also, just because, like I said, for me, I didn't know, like I didn't have really like structure or purpose when I was at the gym, other than I was like, okay, I'm at the gym and I'm going to work out because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So for me, it just took the guesswork out of exercise so that I could maximize the time that I'm spending working out and get the results that I'm trying to get. So,
but Julie Dawson, one last thing, I will tell you that while exercise is super important, nutrition is so much more important. And if I could get people that have a significant amount of weight to lose to put the same kind of focus that they put into their exercise effort into their nutrition. Like if I had to choose, if I had to make you choose between exercise or nutrition, I would choose nutrition every time, because nutrition is 80 to 90% of it. Exercise is important. You need to listen to the last podcast that we did on Fitz and Healthy.
Yeah.
It was exercise, the good and the bad. And it talks about like exercise. People always go to it for a way to lose weight, but the way to lose weight and keep it off is to learn how to make nutrition 100% priority and learn what good nutrition is. It still kills me how many people are being told by their doctor to eat low fat and eat low cholesterol based foods. I'm like, stop. So, okay. The next question?
So the next question, I think it's Candy. She said, when can we order the Shift Shop? The Shift Shop won't be available until sometime in July. So it's in its like beta phase kind of right now. Like Lauren said, she's in the test group. So it's being tested out, fine tweaked. I don't know the exact date. Do you know the exact day in July that it releases?
I think it's July 15th, but it's somewhere mid-July. I told my challengers today, like, you don't have an option, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just day 5 into it, I'm like, holy bananas. It's an amazing, it's the program that has been needed to be created for a long time. So, okay, next question.
Jonathan says he loves our energy. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Recommended place. So Leah wants to know recommended place for research on foods and health. Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. So Mark's Daily Apple is a great, they make daily blogs every day. Mercola, drmercola.com or mercola.com.
How do you spell Mercola?
Mercola. What is Dr. Mark Hyman's website?
It might be Eat Fat Get Thin.
It might be. He's a physician, but he's a Western medicine physician with a functional medicine practice.
Yeah.
Meaning that, because I'll tell you, most physicians, Western medicine physicians, that's kind of physician I used to be, don't believe that your ailments can be healed by changing your nutrition. And he is one that, and he still practices medicine, but he practices medicine with functional medicine, and great resource there. So, and then Dr. Axe is also another like-minded, that's AXE. So,
and Hyman is spelt H-Y-A or
H-Y-M-A-N. Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Hyman. Dr. Mark Hyman.
Your ponytail's too tight, girl. You need to untighten that ponytail.
Hashtag ponytail probs.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Angela wants to know, when first starting out in a healthy and fit journey, what is the most important to start with? We kind of just covered that a little bit, but nutrition for sure is, at least that's my answer, is nutrition.
Actually, I disagree.
What about you, Lauren?
I totally disagree. It's mindset, because if you don't start to acknowledge your mindset and how your mindset got you to the point that you're at, then you're not going to be able to change your nutrition. You're not going to be able to change your exercise. You're going to stay in this vicious cycle, because so many of us have gotten to the unhealthy place that we're at strictly because of what's going on upstairs. And, you know, there are some of you that have experienced some really traumatic events in your life. There's some people that have experienced abusive relationships where you're told that you will never be anything, that you're not worth it, that you can't, you're gonna fail at everything. And if you can learn how to change your mindset, you can change everything. And that's what we do as coaches, as fitness instructors, as mentors, is that we help start to change that mindset. Because if that mindset doesn't change, I can help you lose weight in 30 days, but you're going to gain it all back if you don't learn to change up here. So changing up here is the first step. And that, how do you do that, man? Well, first things first, you got to look at the what your environment is. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people, whether it be family members or friends or coworkers that are constantly negative and constantly putting you down, you need to push them away. And sometimes that's not what people want to hear. Sometimes it's your own freaking spouse, but the fact is, we only get one life, guys. And if it's a choice. And it sucks if you are in a position where you are being put down by, let's say, your spouse, but only you can make the decision to get yourself out of that. So I don't know how we ended up in that based on that question, but but my mindset is where you start.
Really, and identify why you want to do it. I think you need to know why you even want to begin. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with your mindset as well. As you have to know why you want to do it, and it has to be more than just, I want to feel better. Like, why do you want to feel better? What will that do for you? Or if you want to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? Will it improve your quality of life? Kind of dig deep and figure out your why behind it, because that will help you stick to it as well.
Yeah, it's got to be more significant than it's something vain, like I want to look good in a bikini.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be fleeting.
That won't be reason enough. It won't be. Okay, so Stephanie Yunt wants to know, she said, Lauren, and I hope I said that right. Lauren, can you tell me about your 6-hour feeding window versus your 8-hour while not drinking bulletproof coffee? I'm curious to see how it's going for you.
That's a good question. A lot of people that follow me on Snapchat, which if you haven't added me as a friend, you're totally missing out on my white girl rappage, okay? Because at night, most nights, I bust out the white girl rap star that is trying to make my appearance. No, I'm kidding. I really have no desire to be the next Iggy Azalea, but I do love lip syncing with funny filters, and they change filters every day. So add me on Snapchat, Club Fitz, all lowercase. But that being said, I've had a lot of people ask me about that on Snapchat. As you know, why are you doing this, and what are you doing? So for those of you that have no clue what I'm talking about, so bulletproof coffee is essentially this thing that you've probably already heard about, butter coffee or coconut oil on your coffee. So how everyone always asks me, how do you do it? Okay, first of all, Google that, you know what? And so go to YouTube and go to YouTube after you're done here and search how to make bulletproof coffee. And literally the guy that coined bulletproof coffee, that trademarked that name, his name's Dave Asprey, and you can watch, it's like a 4-minute video how to make it. I buy the coffee beans from Bulletproof Coffee because they taste so much better. I mean, it's night and day difference. It's a little bit more expensive than buying some nice coffee beans from Starbucks, but it's a huge difference. And I think it's like $1 or $2 difference. I mean, it's almost comparable, totally worth the money. So I buy his beans, I grind them, I put them in a French press, which is basically just a container. My container is steel because, like I said on Snapchat, I had some glass one, that broke all the time, not because of me, but that's a different episode. But you put steaming water into the French press, and then you steep it for 4 minutes, and then you press all the coffee beans down, and then you pour the coffee. This is anyone that has gone camping and makes coffee when you're at a campsite. This is how you make coffee. Yeah. And then to make bulletproof coffee, you blend it with MCT oil. Some people use coconut oil, MCT oil, or brain octane. I use brain octane. It's huge. Like I will consume brain octane every single day because of all of the health benefits, but we'll talk about that on, I'm actually, my mom had the idea. She was like, have you thought about asking Dave Asprey for an interview? And I'm like, yeah, I actually have. So that's goal. So, because I've turned
coming soon.
No, I've turned so many people on to bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
So that's the least he can do. Dave Asprey, we're going to talk. Okay. Yeah. I want you on my podcast. But that being said, so you blend that with grass-fed butter, you blend it. I know for those of you that are like, what? Don't knock it till you try it. It tastes amazing.
Oh my gosh. It is like frothy and it's the best. It's
you can't put it in a shaker and shake it. It's not the same. Like you have to blend it. You have to do it exactly the way he makes it. Okay. So if you read his book, The Bulletproof Diet, he talks about intermittent fasting and bulletproof intermittent fasting. Okay. And so the difference between is intermittent fasting is where you choose an amount of hours in a 24-hour day. And it doesn't matter where they are in the day, whether it be the beginning of the day or the end of the day, you pick amount of hours. And this week I've been doing 6 hours, but I usually do between 6 and 8 hours where that's when I eat. And then outside of those hours, you're basically fasting the entire time. So Dave Asprey calls bulletproof intermittent fasting, where outside of the eating window, you have bulletproof coffee. Now, his whole theory, and I've actually tested it before because I have a glucometer that tests my blood glucose and my blood ketones. And for people that want to get into ketosis, whether it be, ketosis a few days of the week or get into ketosis and stay in ketosis, a lot of people will use exogenous ketones, and brain octane is one of those exogenous ketones. Okay. So brain octane is essentially basically a medium chain triglyceride. It's a healthy fat for those of you that are like, what does that mean, Lauren? And it puts you into a mild ketotic state. And so when I measure my blood glucose and my blood ketones, after drinking bulletproof coffee, it's usually at about 0.5 or 0.6. And so if you're just not getting ketotic, it's usually 0.1, 0.2, right? So you're on the
Yeah.
verge of getting to being into a ketotic state.
Yeah.
That being said, true intermittent fasting, you aren't consuming anything with calories. And even though you're just consuming healthy fats in the bulletproof coffee, which keeps you in that ketotic state, you still are consuming fats. And so,
Right.
so for me, when I first started experimenting with myself, I did bulletproof intermittent fasting, and I saw a huge difference in my body, huge difference in my focus in the morning, huge difference in the lack of getting hungry until about lunchtime.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, if I could have had this during med school and residency, it would have been awesome, because I just thought that I had a high metabolism because I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
No, it's because I was eating the wrong things in the morning.
Yeah.
And I believed that I had to have breakfast because breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. And that's just what the big food companies want you to believe.
Yeah.
There's actually zero science behind it. And we will talk about that eventually in a podcast.
Yeah.
But that being said, when everyone's body is different, and when your body hits a plateau, you try something new and different. And so with this test group, I've decided to change from bulletproof intermittent fasting to just intermittent fasting. And instead of doing 6 to 8 hours, I'm doing 6-hour eating window. Some people can feel a difference, some people can't, and I can't guarantee that you're going to feel a difference. But the thing is, you don't want to change multiple factors at once, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to know if there's a difference between 6 to 8 hour window of eating, right?
Yeah.
I just listened to an audio book. It was interviewing it was a podcast interviewing a doc who was talking about 5-hour window fasting. And he said that literally the difference of 5-hour eating window versus anything beyond that, his patients could tell a huge difference. So I'm
Interesting.
like, yeah. But if you really, I mean, if you want to know how your body reacts to it, you are the N of one, the science experiment of one, and only you can figure out that. But you can't change multiple factors and assume that, well, it had to be that. Like, change one factor and try it out. But intermittent fasting is this, like, I feel like it's this thing that has been kept secret by so many fitness professionals and fitness icons and fitness models and whatnot forever. And it's like Melissa said, she's like, she kept it secret because she felt like, well, she goes against the grain because breakfast is the most important meal. But she listened to her body for so long and didn't eat breakfast, and she'd been intermittent fasting before she even knew that that's what intermittent fasting was.
Yeah.
So that was I'm talking Mike Talkerson today.
No, you're totally fine. You're explaining it. That's what you wanted to know.
Excellent.
So Brooke Melissa, Lauren, this is a little bit detailed question.
Okay.
So she says, Lauren, you know my situation with autoimmune disorders and lupus. I am battling edema in the feet, and because of cirrhosis of the liver, they gave me Lasix, and I'm not a doctor, y'all, so I don't know if I'm saying these medications.
Yeah, Lasix. Yep.
Lasix.
It's a diuretic. Aldosterone.
Together. Is there a natural way or healthy way to do this? No salt intake, by the way, and I watch everything I eat because of diabetes.
Yeah. So, and this is where of course, I'm not your doctor, Brooke, and I cannot give you any medical advice. I do know that the doses of your medicine, if you get your nutrition on point, and I'm talking like, there's when a person comes to me and they're like, I want to lose weight, am I really expecting them to 100% follow the nutrition plan? I'm realistic, but if I can get them to follow it 80 to 90% of the time, they can still get results. But when I have someone that has an autoimmune disorder, or it's usually disorders, because once one happens, the statistics of you developing another one in the next 10 years and then another one in the next 10 years, it's crazy high. And I definitely 100% believe that it is all due to our nutrition and our gut health. And if you can't heal all of that overnight, Brooke, because all of that has been turned on by years of you eating the wrong foods. And probably I wouldn't be surprised if you've had multiple bouts of antibiotics. So your gut biome is all out of whack. start by looking at healing your gut, and start by changing your nutrition. And over time, the doses of those medicines will change. A lot of those medicines, I definitely believe that you eventually can be weaned off, but obviously don't do anything without your doctor being like, okay, it's time to take you off this, because those two are diuretics because of your liver disease. And playing with diuretics, because one is it's what we call a K sparing, so a potassium sparing diuretic, because Lasix is a diuretic that you lose a lot of potassium. And so anytime you're on these drugs, like, your electrolytes are completely out of whack. And you definitely need a physician who specializes in these things, because you can get yourself in, I'm not even kidding, like, death trouble. Because if our potassium is either too high or too low, our heart, the electricity doesn't work the way it's supposed to. And so life-threatening arrhythmias, the heart rhythm, can happen. So we're talking serious here.
Sorry, I'm multitasking. I'm looking on my phone screen and
all right.
Okay, so Crystal Vito wants to know 3 simple steps right as soon as your feet hit the floor. 3 simple steps for a better life, to be more proactive, start your day right,
lose weight, coaching. I mean, there's a lot of, Crystal,
there's a lot of great ways to start your day.
Well, let's start with your daily habits. One is starting the night before and really giving your body the respect that it deserves by getting to bed at a decent hour and giving your body the sleep it needs. I used to be, not just my ex-husband, but doctors in general are like, sleep is for the weak, and that's not true at all. Sleep is for really smart people that listen to their body's biology the way we were designed. That's the thing. Like, one thing that I want people to take away from listening to our podcast is that you don't have to be a medical doctor to, like, understand common sense. And if we just think back to, okay, before electricity, before all technology, before all of this crazy stuff that is now our norm, humans have been living for thousands and thousands of years, and we were designed perfectly. We weren't there wasn't cancer, there wasn't autoimmune disorders, there weren't all of these terrible things that are normal for us. Like, we think that just arthritis is just a normal state of growing old. It's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. And the fact is that, so respecting sleep, getting up at when the sun wakes you up. And if you have a job that you don't have that luxury, honestly, I would consider like shift work screws with your body in the worst way. Yeah. And I know that we have to have shift workers, but that was one of the things that I just, being an anesthesiologist, I knew I'd always be on call. So I knew I would always, at least a few times a week, have to get up in the middle of the night, and our bodies are not meant to be that way. Yeah. So get up when the sun comes up, get your daily internal drink of water. Literally, I always have a liter of water by my bed. And that's one of the very first things I pee first, obviously, but after I pee, I drink a huge thing of water, and then I start my day off with my gratitude journal. I have a 5-minute journal, and I literally start setting my mindset with gratitude and meditation. Yeah. So there's the 3 steps right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Did she specify? Did Crystal specify? Did she come back and be like, no, that's not what I was asking, Lauren?
Nope, I don't see it. But I mean, there's 3 things.
There you go. Okay. So last question, and then we'll get going, because I do want to keep these between 30 and 45 minutes.
Okay. And if we don't answer your question, I had an accent.
Answer.
That was weird.
answer your question.
If we don't answer your question, more people would probably listen if I had like a British accent.
Probably so.
I might come back with one next week. Okay, but if we don't answer your question, please know that it's not because we don't care about your question. It's just that we're trying to take the time to give you guys quality answers. So it will be quality versus quantity most times. But just come back, be the first one on next time so that we can get to your question if we don't get it to this time.
Yes.
Okay.
Last question.
Okay, so Mary Peacock says, I hear read labels a lot without a medical degree. How the heck do I know these hidden bad stuff? Organic isn't always organic. Sugar has 1,000 different names. Help. Good question. And Mary asked me, she said, where are you going? I think she saw me lean out of the screen when I went to plug my computer in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going anywhere, I promise.
Well, you're going to go to a graduation later, but you're not going anywhere now. Yeah. No, Mary, that's a great question. In fact, there are, I think, 273 different ways that sugar is hidden and renamed. And so, yeah, you're absolutely true. And the fact is that going to a reliable source that's trustworthy to educate yourself and then learning from multiple different places. So obviously, if you're listening to this Q&A, I'm hoping it's not your first Q&A that you've listened to, but maybe it is. You need to go listen to all of the other episodes because that's the beginning of the journey of knowledge is potential power. And making sure that you go to resources that are reliable. Like for instance, I gave you 3 different doctors that are good, reliable sources of information. And honestly, when it comes down to it, if you got to want it, you got to learn because it's not going to just, osmosis get into your brain. If you really want to learn, you have to educate yourself. And that's the only way you can empower yourself. But the first step is, okay, I do care about reading labels. Now I want to learn how to. And, I would love to have you in a challenge group because that's often where we do a lot of coaching and we teach our customers how to read labels. And one of the most common inboxes that I get on my Facebook Messenger, people know to not take a picture of the nutrition facts. They know to take a picture of the ingredients. They take a picture of the front of the food and then the back.
That's
and they're
so
like,
important.
Is this good? And I always let them know, okay, this is why I would or wouldn't eat this. And I give them the reasons. And ultimately, that's knowledge. If you want to put that knowledge into power, totally up to you. But now that you know that, 98% of soy is GMO. And now that you know what GMO is and what it does to your body, are you going to decide to eat it?
Yeah.
Totally up to you.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many places that you can research ingredients and things like that too. So it's not just like, okay, Lauren told me to avoid palm oil, so I'm going to avoid it. But find out why. Find out why you need to avoid that ingredient, the effects of it on your body, so that you can make an educated decision on whether or not it's something that's the right fit for you.
That's such a good point. Because I feel like if people understand the why, they're more likely to stay away from it. Because if I just tell you, hey, don't eat sugar, it's bad for you. Yeah. All right, Lauren.
Yeah.
But if I tell you, hey, don't eat sugar because sugar leads to diseases like Alzheimer's, like hypertension, like diabetes, like all these things. And ultimately you're going to end up, I mean, my grandmother, I love her to death. She's 88, but she like loony, like lost her mind, and it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And that's my why. That's why I stay away from sugar. And you got to understand why to make it really stick. So great point, Cinthanie. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I never want the FITz Friday Q&As to last longer than about 45 minutes. And it's we're approaching that. Yeah, we're at 47 minutes right now. So we just want to thank you guys. If you haven't gone to whatever podcast app that is yours, and subscribe to FITz and Healthy, and then downloaded all of your episodes that you have to choose from, we would ask you right now to go do that because that helps us get the word out and get into the new and noteworthy. Also, the thing that we really appreciate is reviews. And you guys, the fact that we already have, I think we're at 117 or something like that.
I haven't checked in a couple days.
Yeah, the fact, I actually at dinner last night at the restaurant I was telling you about, I asked my dad. My dad hadn't even subscribed and downloaded. And
how rude!
I No, my mom had. My mom was like, "Can you tell which one was mine?" I was like, "I couldn't. I read them all, and I couldn't tell." She's like, "Well, I didn't want to say,
I'm your
everyone
mom.
to know I'm your mom." Like, it doesn't matter, Mom. She's so cute. But the fact is, it takes extra steps to go and leave a review. We hope a 5-star review. So far, they're all 5-star, and we thank you. But we read every single comment, and we appreciate it. And we're going to start featuring review of the week. Cinthanie, that's going to be her job, is picking a review of the week to read. So we appreciate everyone. We appreciate your questions. Make sure that you just put it on your calendar to join us every Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's either going to be next week or the week after. It's going to be the one you really don't want to miss. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. So, all right, guys. Anything else, Cinthanie, before?
Speaking of reviews, though, I got a really sweet message from someone today that I figured you would actually like to hear.
Oh, yeah.
This is from Shelby Trenta. She messaged me and she said, I just want to say that my best friend and I absolutely love you and Lauren's podcast. We both started cutting carbs out of our diets this week. And since last Saturday, I have lost 3 pounds and she has lost 5 pounds. I have been at the same weight for months now and couldn't get the scale to budge for anything. When I listened to you guys and used your advice, I realized, wow, I eat all the carbs and I thought I was being healthy.
So, welcome cool? To our world. That's what we struggled with for so long before we realized. Yeah.
But it's only been a week that she's cut carbs out of her diet and she's lost 5 pounds. So that's good job for you, Shelby, and your BFF. Good job. That's awesome.
I got a message from someone just the other day, and I've got multiple messages since it launched.
This is just one from this morning.
One was talking about how they were listening to the episode we talked about depression and the relation of food, and how they want their loved one to listen to it too, and it's moving, and ultimately this podcast is to help empower people like them, and we thank everyone for giving us a platform to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So I hope that everyone has an awesome Friday. Those of you that are moms, happy early Mother's Day. We appreciate you. I know that I would not be the person that I am if it weren't for the amazing mom that I have.
Agreed.
Those of you that don't have awesome moms like me, you know what? The fact is that you are an amazing person, and we all need to just celebrate the fact that we have this life. And I know that Mother's Day is a good day for some and a bad day for others, but just know that you are loved and you are a wonderful person. And I give love to all of you guys on this particular holiday, because it's a great holiday, but it's a tough one for some people, and I acknowledge that for everyone. So that being said, Cinthanie, you have a message for him?
I do. You are a good person and you deserve good things to happen to you.
Amen. Hope you guys have a Fitz and Healthy Friday. We'll see y'all next week. Bye. Make sure that you find us on social media. You can find Cinthanie on Instagram and Facebook at Cinthanie. So that's CINTHANIE, and on Snapchat at Cinthanie P. And find me on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Club Fitz Fitness. Remember, that's FITZ Fitness. And on Snapchat, just at Club Fitz. I appreciate your time listening so much. If you enjoyed this episode of the Fitz and Healthy podcast, can you please go do me a favor and go subscribe at whatever platform that it is that you listen to podcasts. Leave a review. We read every single review, and we appreciate the time that you take to leave your thoughts and opinions. Now, also remember, while I am a medical doctor, the information I provide here is not intended to provide medical advice or a professional diagnosis, opinion, treatment, or services to you or to any other individual. I am providing general information for educational and informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for medical or professional care. You should not use this information in place of a visit, call, consultation, or the advice of your physician or other healthcare provider. The information I share is not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease or medical condition. If you believe you have a medical emergency, just call 911 immediately or your physician. Now,
enough of that medical legal jargon. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate your time. Now go live a Fitz and healthy life.